Evening, everybody. Gonna do something I haven't done in a while. This is an intuitive advice video, which I think it's been over a year, but we're gonna do one now. Just a reminder, if you haven't been to my Patreon, go there. Give me $5 a month. My birthday's Friday. Come on. Or links to PayPal and Cash App in the description. You know, throw a true independent thinking, says whatever he wants, YouTuber, little birthday something, a little scarol. So, that's money if you don't know Italian. But intuitive advice of the day: do not play rigged games. Also, know what a lost cause is. So this situation can apply in many different scenarios, obviously. It can apply in a friendship, in a romantic relationship, in a work environment, pursuing a career, what have you. Basically, what you need to know is when a game is rigged and the signs to identify that, and to know when you need to get while the getting's good, get out of Dodge, but also, of course, expose it, because we're talking about things that usually have some combination of corruption, nepotism, cronyism, tribalism, bullying, hazing, retaliation. But enough about my past. Watch the video of my Arlington Fire Department news story. Made it to the news. I beat you in court. Good old boys. Your traditions will never be the same. Ooh. Yeah, when you make a deal, when you do witchcraft, and it's like, I want to forever change the face of the fire service. Be more specific. Because I did do it, but, it cost me my dream career to do it. That's black magic for you. But anyway, in these situations, it's something where merit doesn't apply. So let's take a work environment, for example. Like, you could do everything you've been asked to do, and do more than that. Like, take initiative to do extra, always be on time, never call out, obviously do your duties, be well liked by your peers, and if you're, depending on what job you're in, the people you interact with while performing that job, whether it's customers or the public, like in fire and police, for example. You can do all that. And if you go above and beyond, and then you wonder why you're not being given any opportunity for growth, or even given the same opportunity to learn new skills as, say, mediocre employees who, might show up or usually are late, go through the motions, phone it in kind of thing. It's a clear sign the game's rigged. Another clear sign would be if somebody's targeting you and it's for personal reasons, like not for anything performance-based, but they're targeting you for whatever personal reason that they don't like you for. And you see that person, can, in the eyes of your superiors, do no wrong. Yeah, you're playing a rigged game. Get out of Dodge, because it's like they can do what they want. The rules don't apply to them, and they're going to create out of thin air stricter rules to try to entrap you. Leave on your own terms. Don't play the game. You can't win. These are things you have to keep in mind. Another big sign would be when there's no recourse to air your grievances. So depending on your environment, there's usually mechanisms to report such behavior, but sometimes they're, good old boys protecting good old boys. Like, you know what I mean? They investigate themselves. It'd be like, you get in a bar fight, with Goober, and the sheriff is Goober's uncle Billy Bob. How do you think that's gonna go down? And say your name's like Antonio, yeah, and you're the most ethnic looking guy in town because you're Italian American. Sounds like my kindergarten class. But it's things like that you have to be aware of. Be aware that you're just going to be led on and, told of your good performance, but you will never see the fruits of that labor. You will simply continuously uphold your end of the bargain and receive nothing. Not only nothing, less than nothing. And by less than nothing, I mean you won't even get what everybody else gets just for showing up. Like, you have to work 3 times as hard and constantly complain to maybe and reluctantly get what everybody else was and you was also we're simply entitled to in terms of things like training and opportunity. And you're also going to see in these environments, you're going to watch other people get rewarded, 2, 3 times fold for stuff you're doing, the same stuff you're doing. But when you do it, it means nothing. When they do it, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. I saw that in the fire academy too. There was one guy who could do no wrong. We literally were doing a punishment and I gave it 110%, but I was told I was first in line. We were running upstairs carrying 45-pound plates on our head, or above our head, sorry. And I was miles up in front of everybody as the first person. They're like, stay as a team. And then he called his favorite, the guy who was bullying and hazing me, his favorite, to the front of the line, who then literally did what I did, got miles in front of everybody, but then the rest of us were yelled at and told to keep up with him. Yeah, it's interesting. It gave me insight though, because one of my friends within the academy, an African American gentleman, when I said, I'm like, oh, so I did the exact same thing as he did first, and I'm an asshole, and he did it, and he's a hero. And this guy laughed and said to me, he's like, you just got a couple second taste of what it's like to be black. And I'm like, boy, I'd be mad all the time. But yeah, that made me think a lot. Not that I could really understand, but I could certainly empathize, where it's like, to be treated like that all the time would be utter maddening. I would fly into a vengeance fury rather quickly. But back to my topic. You can't make them give you a fair shot. Anything you do to fight for yourself, what you've earned or what you're even entitled to in some cases, will only lead to retaliation. Okay, now document this. Keep notice of everything around you, how you're treated differently. First and foremost, prepare your exit strategy. Find a way out. Ideally, move up in the world if you can, or lateral move, next best thing. But get out. And when you have secured that exit, then expose it. Make sure it can't happen to anyone else. Same with a narcissist. You have the duty to expose this. And the truth deserves to be known. People deserve to be held accountable for actions they take of their own free will. It includes things like narcissistic abuse, but it also includes things like bullying, hazing, retaliation, and yes, favoritism, double standards. Because these are things, when confronted under the right conditions, they cannot be excused because there is no answer for it. Particularly if, keep track of who sees what, because if everybody's seeing the same thing, they can't talk their way out of it. Once it's out in the open, they have to answer for it. Don't keep it, insulated within the club. Spread it to the outside, to places where they have to listen to it, to where, as I would know, where it becomes a PR nightmare, to where they have no choice but to address it because of the harm that it can do. And yes, a whole organization shouldn't feel harm based on the actions of few, but those few should be held accountable regardless of who they are and, who they're friends with, who they're related to, how long they've worked there. That's irrelevant. They're responsible for their actions of their own free will. So keep that in mind. I hope that was helpful and informative. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. That is absolutely free to do so. Help my subscribers grow for my birthday. Don't cost you anything. Why wouldn't you? But, please join my Patreon. Just do it. And again, follow me on Instagram. That's free too, because I need followers, because Instagram's apparently important to modeling now, more than, being able to pose for pictures and being protective of your female coworkers and, having charisma and acting abilities. Apparently Instagram's more important. Wasn't a factor in the old days, so still a product of the mid-2000s in terms of the modeling industry. It's when I walked the runways in New York. Oh yeah, miss it. But anyway, like and subscribe. Hope that was informative. Remember, do not be a pawn and play a rigged game. Break your chains, get out of Dodge, and expose the truth.